After a mostly positive reaction to my last two What About the Story videos, I got a few comments asking for me to cover a certain game connected to Fire Emblem Fates. And now, I have decided to deliver. Heirs of Fate, the DLC story that follows the children characters through dimensions in the Deep Realms. This DLC mocks the future past DLC from Awakening, where the children traverse an uncertain future without the help of their parents. It's unique and brings players back to the game, and we get to really get some development on the characters that weren't central to the main story. It returns players to familiar maps while providing new experiences, and offers some new Dragon Vein mechanics as well. These gameplay changes are welcome, but what about the story? And what are we focusing on today about this DLC? I fear the fate of Heirs of Fate is an unfortunate one. That's redundant. This lovely downloadable content fails simply because of poor execution. The story isn't bad, it just was bare bones and milked longer than Tinder Emblem. Like many stories in the entertainment industry, the story sounds good on paper, but the execution falls flat faster than Kaze and Birthright. How? Fan service and unoriginal storytelling. That's how. First off, the fan service is absolutely ridiculous. Most DLC maps have lengthy conversations in them, and understandably so. Telling a whole story in 2 cutscenes can be a really difficult task. But boy, did they push it with Heirs of Fate. This is how every single character's conversations went. Hi, I'm this child. I'm lost in the Deep Realm. Oh, you are too. What happened to me? My dad was fighting and told me to run. I feel so bad. Oh, the same thing happened to you? Tell me what happened. Oh, we had the same story. And repeat. This goes on, not for 1 character, not for 2, and definitely not 5, but for 21 characters. 21! It's the exact same conversation, except with a slight change per character. Like, say, Eiji Yasugi being all like, "Oh well, I hope my dad's dead. He's a dick." It makes the dialogue much longer than it needs to be, and it's all for fan service. They should have limited the amount of backstory to the 2 Kanas, and maybe Shiro and Siegbert. The rest of the characters could have had their own stories told with optional on-field conversations like they had in the final battle. To be quite honest, Tokyo Mirage Sessions handled fan service better than Heirs of Fate did, because Heirs of Fate just made the story all about fan service, whereas Tokyo Mirage Sessions did not fill it jam-packed with fan service. But without all the pointless fan service, the story would have felt rushed, which should have been a major red flag to intelligence systems. But they hate their fans, so who cares? Alright, so this is the story summed up in 1 sentence. Nor and Hoshido fight again, but soon realize they need to kill Anakos. Sound familiar? It follows the same exact story as Revelation, except without the plot pusher Anthony, which is one good thing about the story, I'll say that. Intelligence systems didn't even try to do something new with the story. All the Hoshido children ended up fighting together, all the Noah children ended up fighting together. It was just horribly cliche and predictable. The second you found out you control both sides of the battle, you knew what was gonna happen. They could have at least mixed up the children to bring turmoil and conflict to each side. Throw Karagi and Siegbert together. See how Hoshiden Kana reacts to Siegbert, especially when he declares he fights for Nor. So after they all unite and realize they're in Vala, it gets somewhat interesting. Besides the random appearance of Sumeragi and Mikoto, where did that come from? So they'll explain how everyone lost their father before the DLC in great detail, but they won't even spend like any time on Sumeragi or Mikoto. They're just like, oh yeah, they exist. Yeah, go fight them. Go kill them. Yeah, you're kind of related to them, but that's a small thing. Really small thing. Then the team kills their family without saying much, casually. Okay, whatever. No biggie, I guess. Then we get to the best part, the part nobody talks about. Shigure tells the team that he just dragged them through 5 battles while dealing with grief so that he can make it to Aniko safely. 5 battles of mental hell for basically nothing, for them to be completely useless in the end. He then teleports everyone out with some random stone he happens to have so he can commit suicide. And of course, in classic Fire Emblem tradition, Soleil and Ophelia happen to both have a very similar stone. So they use the plot device to teleport back and save the day. And nobody in the community even calls this out. Everyone's too busy calling out Conquest, saying oh, you got that crystal to see Garen, so that's a plot device. But, Heirs of Fate does it worse than Leo's Tome and Birthright and the crystal in Conquest. It's awful. So, how could they fix this story? Put Hoshiden and Norian children together for stronger dialogue. Cut out the unnecessary fan service of talking about the children's fathers. Show Shigure actually struggling to get to Anikos, and then maybe the children can run across him, and he can run across the children, and they save each other. And instead of teleporting them, just have the children decide to save the world with him. We didn't need the unnecessary drama of teleporting stones and plot devices. And then the rest is okay. Seriously, the last boss battle is lit. Absolutely lit. Especially with Shigure's song. Oh, so good. Overall, I don't hate Heirs of Fate. I think the story is worse than the 3 games that were released, simply because it was jam-packed with pointless fan service and pretty awful storytelling. But just remember, that's just my opinion. And that's what I had to say about the story. Thank you guys for watching this. Sorry that's not Fire Emblem Fate's Conquest. I wanted to talk about this because I just recently played this game and I was frustrated through the entire playthrough. But anyways, thank you for watching and listening to me. I will see everyone sometime soon. Yeah. See ya.